Welcome back. Ill is a powerful solo show written and performed by the talented comedian and writer Sophie Joans, unfolding the captivating narrative of an 18-year-old girl's journey of self-discovery as she delves into her ancestral home. She navigates the alleys of her ancestral home. The audiences are taken on a heartfelt journey filled with moments of laughter, introspection and poignant realisations. Ill is not merely a comedy show, it's a deeply human exploration in identity and the universal quest for belonging. Sophie joins us now in studio to tell us more. Sophie, very good morning. Thanks for joining us. Welcome.
My pleasure. So exciting to be here.
I love the energy. You just injected a burst of energy to the studio.
It's 7 o'clock.
All right, let's talk about what inspired you to write Ill. What is Ill all about?
I have always been a great believer in the power of storytelling and the power of theatre.
Yes.
Especially to unearth our own feelings and our own stories and look at where we are and where we came from and how that affects who we are. So Ill is exploration through comedy and some drama into, I guess, my own story and how that relates to all of our own stories.
Okay. And how then did you conduct research into, the background and, into the ancestral home and the background of the main character, just to bring about authenticity to the story?
Well, it's largely autobiographical, so the research was me living life, yeah. But also family stories and the oral histories that get passed down and a little bit of help from Wikipedia.
So what's the main message?
The main message is, despite our best intentions, we become our parents. And finding the joy and the humor and the healing and the peace that comes with accepting that. I'm
still stuck at we become our parents.
Even you, Simpiwe, even you.
I can only imagine. Do you want to share any particular scenes or moments from the show that have resonated the most with audiences?
Oh, that's a good one. I'll just dive right into an anecdote.
Go ahead.
So I'm walking around the garden with my mother when Stanley comes over. Now, Stanley is the lovely gardener from Malawi, who of all the households in white suburbia ended up working for my mother. And in his hands, he's holding a dead hardy-dar. And this hardy-dar is dead. Ooh. And Stanley plucks the entire hardy-dar. And my mom turns to me and says, "Now, do you know how much feathers are if you buy them from the art shop? 40 rand. And I got all of these for free. And you'll never guess where I found it. In the gutter." That's the kind of humour you can expect to hear. Right,
right. And how did you approach the character development of this 18-year-old?
Well, I was really lucky to work with the South African classic comic genius, Rob van Vuuren.
Right.
And he was really instrumental in helping me find the humour in a very personal and sometimes vulnerable story. I was incredibly blessed to work with someone with such a great sense of humour.
Yeah, yeah. And how did you make the journey of this 18-year-old more relatable with the audience?
Well, I think we can all remember what it's like to be 18. It's that natural...
I can write a book.
Exactly. Couldn't we all? It's about that feeling of hopefulness and that sense that the world is your oyster and anything is possible until reality hits you in the face. And you kind of have to navigate through that and find yourself in that.
And since this is a theatre setting, how do you incorporate all the elements of storytelling, of visual arts or music to, enhance the audience's immersion into the protagonist's, narrative, that is?
I'm a big fan of physical theatre, and Rob is also a great physical theatre performer and taught me a lot. So elements of physical theatre, it's my firm belief that you got to give the audience moments of comic relief. So every now and then, as soon as it gets serious, I like to just throw in a joke or a laugh. And I worked with an amazing composer, Ryan Stopforth, who watched the play and just managed to make the most beautiful soundscape that complements the storytelling in such a great way.
Do you also find that you are at some point under pressure to just go with the flow? Because this is a live audience we're talking about here, that you don't always have to stick to the script. like you have to follow, or rather just immerse yourself in the audience's energy?
That's a great question, and I get it a lot. And what I say to that is every time it looks like the person on stage is improvising, it's because they have practiced that bit so many times. The more spontaneous it looks, the more rehearsed it is, in fact.
Right. The more spontaneous it looks, the more rehearsed it is.
Yes.
Okay. And then do you find that you have to change the script because maybe the audience reacts a particular way that you did not expect, and hence making you find yourself having to change the script?
That's a good question. I would say if you saw a gymnast doing a very difficult routine, they don't change the routine because it sort of throws them off. However, sometimes if an audience doesn't laugh when I want them to laugh, I acknowledge that and, say, where's your sense of humor, Joburg?
Jeez, man. And the process of creating Ill, how has it impacted you as a creative and as a writer?
Sure, I think I did actually find a lot of healing in that. And I think
really?
I really believe that when people tell stories and people hear stories, you feel slightly more at peace. We don't always have the answers to all of life's problems and our relationships and the complexities of that. But it's through listening and feeling heard and seen that we find just a little bit of liberation.
And where was the healing element? Was it in the writing of the story or the delivery of the story or how the audience reacted to your story?
My favorite thing is when people come to me after the show and they say, this is my mom, or this is my daughter, or this is my mom and my mom, and there's a whole 3 generations of women who come and they say, I didn't find the words, but I watched this play and I found the words, and you put words to the things I felt.
I like that.
And that's my favorite thing.
Oh man, I want to see this show. Share more details, briefly.
It's on at Theatre on the Square in Sandton. For the rest of this week, there's a show today at 5 p.m. Otherwise, every day at 7:30. Next Saturday, we have 2 shows. Tickets are on CompuTicket. And I'll see you there.
Right. Sophie, all the best, eh?
Thank you so much.
All right, lovely chatting to you. Just in conversation with Sophie Joans, the writer and performer of Ill, the one-hander player that started this past Wednesday until the 6th of April at Theatre on the Square.